Welcome back to another episode of the Pain, Performance, and Porrada podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Nick Smith. I'm a licensed physical therapist and strength and conditioning coach for jiu-jitsu and other combat athletes. Topic of discussion today, something I've been kind of hearing a lot about just on various discovery calls with athletes, what I see on social media, and just this constant flood and inundation of information, right? You have social media posts, fear-mongering around whether you're going to get hurt or not, and that, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. Some athletes I've been talking to have gone to various physical therapists, and the physical therapists are telling them, oh, you know, your glutes are weak, or they're not firing, or, you're super, super stiff, and that's why you're having this pain. And at a certain point, it becomes to be like information overload, right? And as somebody who loves objective data, okay, big nerd, love tracking things, I love documentation, I love information. There needs to be a point where it has to be productive. Otherwise, it's just stuff, right? And if you're not somebody who's been flooded with this before, maybe this doesn't necessarily resonate with you because you're just like, I don't listen to this stuff on social media or my doctors or whatever. But maybe you're somebody who's like really honestly tried to like improve your outcomes. You've been to 3 different physical therapists. You've done the acupuncture. You've done the massage therapy. You've tried the chiropractor. Maybe you've tried stem cells. Maybe you've tried peptides. I mean, you've just thrown everything at it, quite literally. And nothing's really improved. At a certain point, you're going to have 3, 4, 5 plus people in your ear telling you maybe different things, maybe things that align, and sometimes they're going to be conflicting. And at a certain point, that's exhausting, right? Like, ultimately, what do I do? How do I do it? What do I need to be able to do? And it gets to be too much. And when I'm working with an athlete or I'm having a discovery call with an athlete, I try to make it very clear. I'm going to show you exactly where your starting point is. I already know your destination because you told me, right? I want to know what your goals are. And ultimately, I'm going to show you how to reverse engineer that, how to get to that place. Along that path, there are going to be very strict milestones, right? Those milestones maybe will be addressing a range of motion deficit. Maybe it'll be addressing a strength deficit. Maybe it'll be addressing a power deficit. Maybe it's a acclimation to skill time, mat time, volume, intensity, all these things, right? There's certain goals that we have to reach along the way. Stops, so to say. We got to fill up for gas here before we hit our next stop. And it's my job to make that process as simple as possible. Telling somebody that they have asymmetries or that they have weak glutes is not productive because it doesn't solve the problem. It creates another one, and it gets athletes thinking that they have things wrong with them. Ultimately, it's like, yeah, could you get stronger? Sure. If you get stronger, you're going to build more resilience and you're going to feel better. But more importantly, it's teaching the body and teaching the athlete, like, hey, in order to do jiu-jitsu, there are certain things physiologically that your joints need to be able to do. Passively, actively, response, all those different things. And it's my job to be able to create a system in which addresses all of those things while I'm also scientifically hitting the milestones that I need to make sure you don't get hurt along the way. Information gets very exhausting, as I said. And if you're somebody who's been flooded with that in the past and not really sure, you need to find somebody who can really clear through, sift through the crap, be able to just avoid the sandstorm, the dust storm, whatever you want to call it, and really focus on what your goal is. Every time I'm working with an athlete, everything that we do, we are doing this so that you can do this to hit your goal. If you're not hitting your goal and you're not sure why, it's because this thing over here needs to be accomplished first. If we accomplish this goal, this allows us to get here. This is how we can do it safe, systematically. And once we hit all those goals, then we can reach the end destination. Everything reverts back to the goal. It's not just aimless. Do these exercises to make your knee better. Why? Why do we do squats? We got to make, why do we make our muscles stronger? But also being able to have a coach who can explain the process of why you're doing the things you do, if that's important to you. I do have people who don't care. They just want to feel better, which is totally fine. But it's important to not be flooded with just random facts. Don't do this. Do this. Be sure to absolutely incorporate this into your workouts. If you don't have a plan or a system around it, they're just pieces of information, right? I use the analogy a lot of, if your goal is to get a submission, you can't just do the submission. There's a setup for it. There might be a sweep. Maybe you're working from your back to get to the submission. You're working from your back. You have to have a sweep. And then you have to have a guard pass. And that guard pass has to be not just into side control, but now you have to get in a mount. Just an example. But there's different steps along the way. You can't just haphazardly throw the submission on and expect it to land. That's what a lot of these pieces of information are supposed to do, as if it's a cure-all. And then you're spending this time thinking you have these problems. You think you're doing the right things to try to address them, and you're no better than you were 2 years ago. And you're stuck in the same place. It's like a revolving door. So at a certain point, you need to have a destination and a clear path of how to get there. If you're not doing that, you're wasting your time. You probably already know that. But if you've been in that cycle before, if you're going through that cycle right now, please reach out to me. Either you can connect you with me, connect you with a colleague that's nearby, somebody who's going to put you on the direct path of how to get better. You need things that are actionable, not just information, but things you can do to address. When you address them with milestones, there's a goal associated with it. It's very clear, very cut and dry. Can't do this, it's problematic. You got to be able to do it. No questions asked. You complete those goals, things do feel better. You feel better. You're able to train more, able to train harder. You're not going to have the limitations you did before. That's my soapbox for now. You've been flooded with that info and you want clear, concise plan, please reach out. You know where to find me. In the show notes, you can reach out to me on Instagram. You can track me through email, whatever way you want to. I'm always answering the DMs on Instagram. Love to talk to you, hear your story, see if there's ways that I can help, whether directly, indirectly. Till next time, remember, pain is not something you should fear, just something you should respect. This is the way. See you.